Hello YouTube, this is Retta. How are you tonight? I want to say hello to everybody. And I'm doing this reading on Jason Goodman. And then a reading by himself, and then a reading with his relationship with George. And then that will be part one. And then part two, I will look into the relationship between Trish and Jason, and then Trish and George. I did do a reading. This is my second one. Just for some clarification, this is my second reading. The first reading I did, it's posted on my Facebook group, which is called Retta's Reading Room. And it's easy to join. You can join it. It's a closed group. It does have a couple of questions to answer, trying to keep the trolls down to a minimum. But there was a reading. And because I didn't know the people involved, the only person that I was familiar with was George. I didn't become really familiar with Jason. I seen him on a video with Lionel Nation. I love Lionel Nation. I like George. They had Lionel was talking about for a while that he wanted to have an interview with George, and next thing you know, I seen him post. There was one posted with him, George, and I guess Jason. I didn't know who the guy was at the time that was sitting with George, and it seemed like Jason was, you know, really conducting the meeting or the talk or the interview, and George didn't say too much, and I was surprised because I know Lionel wanted to talk to George. So I've also seen a video when George talked about him getting arrested for being intoxicated when driving. I don't know the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole video. I just happened to see the guy that was sitting there. But I haven't been to crowdsource. I don't know anything about crowdsource. I had some questions because I was a little confused in my first reading. It showed different people. So my people in Retta's reading group did some investigation and found some birthdays and figured out the horoscope. So now I have a better understanding to things. So this reading should go by smoother. It should expand on the reading that was early. If you're interested, like I said, it's posted in Retta's Reading Room. And it may be a little controversial, but let's see if this reading still says the same thing, but a clearer message. Because the other cards I used, while they're nice, they're a little bit more, I used this deck, they're a little bit more busy. And so we're going to talk about Jason. Jason is the strength card. And what Jason is that he's had constant adversity in his life. And he needs to, you know, face his fears, face his problems head on. You know, don't try to sugarcoat them or blame other people. He has some issues. He has to deal with them. Look them in the eye, face them, and then move on. And when you finally face them, then you have the moment of the star, where the star, things come brightly. You know, the star shines down on you. You become illuminated. So that's a life theme for him. So I want to see, I'm going to draw 3 cards. I drew 3 cards that were quite interesting before. So, but I have a better understanding of these people. Like, I didn't know Jason, and I didn't know, I believe her name is Trish. I didn't know them. I didn't see any of their videos that they posted or anything. So I don't have a dog in this fight at all. I've watched George's interviews. I haven't watched them lately because he's been posting way too much. I like the old videos where with the computer and he has everything diagrammed. That's my type. Now it's just too much. 3 minutes here, 5 minutes there. No, I haven't been keeping up with it. So all right. Receiving. Okay, so it says a toll, which kind of goes with the other reading. It showed in this other reading that he was having a hard time right now. There's some things going on with him now, and I guess a lot of things have been taking a toll. Whatever journey he's on is kind of taking a toll on him. I think he's not quite as focused as he should be. He's not as quite as focused as he should be. Also, that's showing the Page of Swords. So, you know, his focus isn't... He wants to do things. He has the thoughts there. But he doesn't have the focus there. The thoughts are there. The intellect's there. But the focus isn't there. Liberty. He's feeling a little confined. He's feeling confined right now. He's feeling confined. He's feeling like his choices are limited. Maybe that's what the toll is. He's feeling his choices right now are limited. There's a little bit of confusion, and there's a little bit of emotional turbulence going on. But he's feeling very confined, and his choices are limited. And he might even be angry about that. To me also, this is saying receiving, but I think he's not even receiving because he's not as focused. This is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is showing that you're not too focused. You're not too focused, and you could be a little immature. Not focused, immaturity. This card came up a lot in the last reading. I didn't understand this card before, but now I do. So it's showing an immaturity, a kind of flightiness, emotional, you know, not in control of one's emotions. Things can upset you quickly. You take things to heart too much. You know, you don't have a thick skin. And sometimes you're so emotional that you're not able to receive that message, or receive that message, or hear things clearly, because you're acting, your emotions are peaked so much that you don't that you can't take the time to listen. So you react before you are having so many reactions, instead of just sitting back, observing, listening, taking it in, criticism and all, and then going. You know, if someone says something bad, you are quick to get upset about it. Alright, so let's see. So I'm going to see where he's at now. So right now, those cards are telling me a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions are going on right now for him. A lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions. Oops. Alright. Jason Goodman. Jason Goodman. Where is he at now? Oh, okay. Jason Goodman. Jason Goodman. Where is he at now? Okay. There's been a sudden change. Maybe he wasn't expecting it. Something that suddenly changed. I don't know if it's for the good or the worse. Let's do the cross to bear. There's been a sudden change in his passion, in his passion, his message. There's been a sudden change in his passion, in his message, or even in the passion in which he gives his message. There's been a sudden change. He's just acting. He's not doing too much thinking. He's just going by actions. Just going by actions. This is what I was talking about, emotions. So, you know, I like I said, he's being reacted. He's working off of his emotions, and that's what's also showing me with the wands, is that, you know, he's kind of working off of just doing it and not thinking. You know, if someone ticks him off, he's going right back at him. So he's not being very adult right now. All right. He has some vices. You know, there's some vices. It might be jealousy, envy. Yeah. He has some vices right now. It could be some jealousy, some envy. Some jealousy, some envy. The devil is all about vices, so it's what someone might indulge in, their shadow self. This one's showing a lot of abundance, like money and alcohol or celebration. That's maybe, I don't know if he's partying too much, if he's having a lot of get-togethers, or if he's too focused on money and getting money. So I think it's a combination of them both. Let's see, in the past, he's still having some depression, some despair, some depression. He's worried about all the things he's lost, or what he hasn't accomplished, or, you know, he's looking towards the negative instead of looking at, you know, the good things that have happened, or the good things that have came. You know, his focus is on what he's lost or what he doesn't have instead of what you do have. Turn around and look around and see what you do have. So there's some depression there right now. And that could be in part of this devil energy. This devil energy. This indulgence. Let's see. Knight of Cups. He's working. Remember I said the same thing? He's working off of emotions. Not too much thought process. His emotions, he's just working off emotions. His emotions aren't kind of stable right now, emotionally, you know? And he's not thinking too much. He's just acting. He's just acting. He's constantly on the attack. I don't know why. You know, why is he on attack? It's showing that he needs a growth. You know, he's still doing childish things. He needs a growth. Everything on these cards are all knights. Knights. He's not thinking too much. He's working off of emotion, passion, anger, thoughts, stuff like that. He's not thinking. He's like the first thought that goes to his head. That's what he's not like thinking things clearly. He has a lot of confusion in his mind. His mind is confused. He might even be going through, his mind isn't confused. His mind is full of confusion, and he's acting foolishly. He's jumping to conclusions. He's jumping before using any real thought. He's being reckless a little bit, maybe naive. It's like he wants to be this King of Wands. He wants to be in control. He wants to be this manly man. He wants to do things with passion and conviction and everything, but he's too focused on the loss. He's too focused on the loss, like the loss of money, the loss of revenue, the loss of the physical things. He's too focused on that. So it's causing him to make some reckless decisions. Let's see. One. It's causing him to have a lot of defeat. Fight. Intemperance is also he may be talking about George drinking, but I'm seeing him drinking too. I'm seeing him drinking too. So I see him drinking. He needs to balance. And also, if he doesn't drink like that, I keep seeing the cups. I'm seeing some drinking, some confusion. If it's not drinking, it's his emotions are so bad you would think he was on something. He needs to balance. He's having emotional imbalance. It could be from alcohol or things such as that, or it could be an emotional or mental imbalance that he needs to see. He needs to get some help for. Alright, so I'm going to do a relationship reading between him and George. So this reading was a little bit clearer, which I'm kind of grateful for. Sometimes the cards have too much information in it, and your eyes like get drawn to so many different things, and it's easier just to streamline. So I want to see the energy around their relationship. So George and Jason, the energy around their relationship. The energy around their relationship. Energy around their relationship. Alright, let me shuffle these real fast. Oh, I have the decks ready for the giveaway. I had posted them on Intuitive Retta, the decks, and hopefully tomorrow I'll upload the video, show the decks, and do the giveaway. Start the giveaway tomorrow, and hopefully I've been trying to find an app or something so when the date is over that the app will pick out the name. I've seen people do it like a lottery thing, but I can't figure it out. You guys know how untechnically advanced I am. I don't even know how to edit. I'm still trying to figure out Google Hangout. I can't figure it out. So, alright. So I'm going to put George over here and Mr. Jason right here. So what is their relationship right now? Okay. So there's a toll. There's a toll on their relationship right now. There is a toll on their relationship. Everything is not perfect in their relationship. There's some emotional things going on, some thoughts, some hurdles, some emotions behind it. Here is the emotions. I think there was too much expectations. You know, sometimes it's the wish card. You know, the 9 of, it's the wish card. Maybe there was too much expectations out of the relationship and it fell short. So it took a toll on their relationship. You know, I'm thinking that there was supposed to be more. I'm seeing these diamonds, you know, fall into the water. And to me, maybe it wasn't as prosperous as it should have been or as it could have been. The focus wasn't there. So the relationship, you know, there was too much expectations for the relationship. What does Jason feel? Jason has some dark thoughts right now in regards to his relationship. Some secrets, some jealousy. I don't know, the jealousy. There's a crack in the relationship. I think there's some jealousy that's been shined on the relationship. Some secrets. Some things being hidden from each other. There's also maybe some competition. I'm not saying both of them felt this way, but Jason felt this way. Okay, how about George? George felt like he was being deceived. George felt that he was being deceived. Which can go with this moon card. You know, deception. The moon is all about deceiving, an illusion, deception. You know? And that's what George felt like he was being deceived. Also, he felt like maybe he was being lied to, deceived. Stuff like that. He felt like he was being deceived. What did Jason hope from the relationship? Jason hoped more of... Jason had some... What did he hope from the relationship? He felt that... It's kind of an emotional thought. It's like acting without emotions. I think he wanted more to be done in the relationship, like as a business or whatever. He wanted more. And the Knight is kind of an immature thought process. It's not like a plan. I think he was expecting too much. He was expecting too much, and he didn't really have a plan or anything. It wasn't really thought out, you know. He's working off of his emotions. I think he felt that George should have been grateful. Should have been grateful. I don't know why George should feel grateful, but that's what he's feeling. He's feeling like George should have been grateful. All right. How about you, George? George feels like the relationship, and George, he doesn't talk about that, but I think he felt like the relationship between them both was a disaster. I think he feels there were maybe some arguments. It was a disaster. They definitely were on the same page. I think this has to do even with the deception and this moon card. I feel like George felt like Jason was trying to take, this is just a metaphor, like his crown. Like he was trying to destroy what he built, if that makes sense. I'm not talking about crown like, you know, I'm the best or something. No, I'm talking about like he felt like Jason was trying to destroy what he built. You know, what he built. His knowledge, what he built. He feels like Jason was trying to destroy it. Jason feels that George should have been grateful. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me why George would be grateful, and I don't know. So what was the end for? What made Jason say that I'm done, or feel like I'm done? I think Jason felt that he was more. To me, this is the Four of Wands, so this is kind of like a foundation. I think he felt that he was more. He was more than what George was. He was more. That he should have been celebrated. He was more. He has the foundation in place. He had everything in place. He should be more. He should be celebrated. How about you, George? George is just, he was tired. He was tired of it. He was tired. He felt like any move he made was, he was tired. He just needed a break. He felt like any move he made, it was an issue. You know, words were said. Any move he made, he was chastised. Words were said. You know, the words were trying to pierce him, were trying to break him down. He just needed a break. He needed to get away. He felt like his movements was being stifled. That, you know, his movements were being stifled. That, you know, swords were being brought against him, which means like words. So when he did try to move, he felt like words were aimed at him, like vicious words or words to pierce him, things to hurt him. So he needed a break. Yes, this reading is a lot more clearer. Thank God. Okay, I'm going to draw 3 cups. I see a lot of fighting over information or bringing information in. It's a Page of Pentacles, so to me that's a younger woman. This woman might have been younger than both of them, Or it could be one of them that felt like they were the ones that were bringing in the information. Or it could be a woman that was bringing in the information, or one of them felt like they were bringing in the information. And it caused a lot of conflict. It caused a lot of conflict. One felt like they were constantly defending their actions. They were constantly defending their actions. And the other one was constantly coming at them kind of aggressively. So I'm feeling like, if it's not a woman, George felt like he was bringing in the information. I feel like, so now, because it's this side, so if it's not a woman, it's George. George felt like he was bringing in the information. And Jason was on the attack, kind of passionately, aggressively on the attack. Not too many thoughts involved. So, and I felt like George was on the defense, because this is the wands, and it felt like George was on the defense. And Jason kept coming at him with things, And that was the end. I think that was really the end of the relationship. Yeah, it was just too much. It was like a match. The Ace of Wands is the whose penis is bigger. You know, that's what's lit the match. You know, this situation is what lit the match. Was flames, you know, what lit the match to create this tension. A lot of jealousy. By Jason. A lot of jealousy by Jason. Jason has a lot of jealousy over George. Jason needs to stop blaming other people and start focusing on himself. He's blaming everybody else for the issues, his shortcomings. He needs to look at himself and deal with himself and what's wrong, and stop blaming other people, and stop stop putting your insecurities, your shortcomings, and blaming them on other people, or being upset at other people because they're not doing what you wanted them to do. It's very strange. It's a lot of jealousy, and that has created a burden. Jason, you have created your own burden. You got to stop with this jealousy. You know, if you want to be something, you know, work hard, do it. First of all, you got a lot of things going on, mentally, emotionally, and stuff like that. You are not mentally capable right now. I don't know what's going on with you mentally, but mentally you're having some issues. Mentally and emotionally. You might need to get some help for it. And you're also having some vices. I don't know what you're doing, but you have some vices, because this is the second time the devil cards came up. Also, you're having some jealousy issues. And that's made you vulnerable. This is your burden that you have to carry. You can't push it on other people. You can't get aggressive to other people and try to hurt other people because you are not feeling good about yourself or successful in your own right. What do you call it in regards to your intentions? What are your intentions? Let me just draw these cards. What are your intentions? Whoops. What are your intentions in regards to George? Jason, what are your intentions? What are your intentions in regards to George? What are your intentions? What are your intentions? Your intentions are to work hard, to work hard, to be better. You have a plan. You have a plan. Look at this burden still. You have a plan. You have a plan. And if that have to be manipulation, so be it. You have a plan. Well, whatever plan, you're thinking you're mentally superior to George. You're thinking you're mentally superior to George. That's your burden. That's your burden, because you're feeling like you're better than George. Coming fast, things are coming fast your way, and it's causing confusion. Your mind's not right. You need some clarity. You need some clarity because you're thinking that you're better than what you are. And you're feeling that people should be grateful. People should celebrate you. I don't even know who you are, Jason. I don't understand why you have this entitlement. You feel very entitled. I don't understand it. You felt like you've lost a lot. You felt like you've put in work and you've lost a lot. You put in work and you've lost a lot. So you're entitled. The relationship was a mental between you and George. It was a mental battle for you. You wanted to win. You wanted to win against George. You want to win mentally. You want to win. You want him. You want to be the victor. You want to see him down and you up. This is going to be very controversial. I just feel it's the Five of Swords, so it's conflict, but conflict of winning. But did you really, you know, this is conflict of your own making. This is conflict of your own making. That, you know, you might have won it, you might have won that round, but was it worth it? And you did deceive him. You did deceive him. You did deceive him, and you're celebrating, and you're deceiving him. You deceived him, and to you, it was okay. Yeah. It was okay. And it's the Ace of Cups, so this onset of emotions. You know, you wanted him confined. You know, you wanted him confined. You wanted him confined. You wanted him confined. You wanted to control his movements, his thoughts, his actions. Yeah. Alright. There's the King of Swords. You wanted to control his movement, thoughts, and actions. I hope this reading hasn't offended anybody, but this reading kind of coincides with the other reading. The other reading was a little bit more harsh than this reading, but this reading is more streamlined. All right, I'll talk to you.